I genuinely hope that Allie does reassess what kind of content she's putting out and takes more care about who she attacks, because, and I know that I'm ruffling feathers with this video, I don't care. And I know that some of my mutuals will be upset because people respect her. And I have to speak my truth. I was harmed by Allie. My experience of her is that she was a bully, she was abusive.
All I know is that if I were Aquarian music witch right now, I would be real fucking upset that I made that original video. I would be upset. I would be saying to myself, damn, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. What the fuck? Dear Aquarian music witch, what the actual fuck? If you guys are wondering what this wig is about, I like to live as Joe Dispenza sometimes. If you don't know who Joe Dispenza is, I highly suggest not checking into him. Actually, he's a dangerous scam artist, but we'll get into that later. But this is a whole... I needed this wig to start this because I was about to actually lose my mind. Very, 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 very first thing I wanted to say, really quick, just to get this out of the way, is fuck you and kiss my ass. Jane. Fuck you.
Anyone happens to have any information either way when it comes to whether that woman that Allie keeps talking about who died actually exists, I would love it. I would love to see it. I would love to know that she does exist, or I would love to know what other people are seeing.
Oops. Was that one supposed to stay friends only? I thought so. Like, from the bottom of my heart, fuck you. I can't say that on TikTok, and I just needed to say it. Kiss my ass, kiss my ass, kiss my ass, kiss my ass. You will never hear the fucking end of this. Actually, you will, because I need to give you some compassion, and you're just traumatized. But what the fuck did you just do? I don't want to embarrass you right now. Like, do you want to get fucking dirty, Jane? Seriously, you got so dirty. Like, I just needed to say a couple things. Mainly, fuck you. You are absolutely stalking, harassing, doing really creepy stuff about me to me right now. It's the weirdest thing I've ever fucking seen. And this YouTube series, my dear, it's time. It's time. You finally exposed what I knew the first time. I knew the first time you were gaslighting me. I knew the first time. I mean, I'm sorry for saying that you're not an intellectual. That wasn't cool for me to say. It really wasn't. It's not my place to say if you're an intellectual or not. But your inability to have basic, like, just rational thought, or like have compassion for other people, or follow your own trail is so scary. This is truly how people act when they are abusers. My ex-boyfriend, or you are scarier to me than him. You are scarier. What the fuck are you doing? The look in your eyes. The fucking... I wanted to come into this a lot more compassionate. I really did. I wanted to be super classy. I wanted to come into this really compassionate. And I guess I'm coming into this more human. Like, I don't want to make someone else look absolutely terrible on the internet. But I didn't do that. Right? Like, you did that to yourself. Fuck yeah. Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. Kiss this forehead. What the fuck are you doing? We're on YouTube now. I can actually say what I want to say. And what I want to say is shame on you. Shame on you. And you know what? I feel really, really fucking sorry for you because this was so unbelievably embarrassing. And I almost feel cruel making a video about this, despite the fact that you guys got me banned, despite the fact that I'm about to get banned again right now, despite the fact that I've been getting absolutely fucking stalked. You have been stalking me, Jane. I can pretty much prove that. Like, this is... I don't care if it takes 5 years. I'm gonna figure out who did that stalking. And this is exactly why creators should not make fucking burner accounts and go to videos where people are talking about them and try to argue with people in the comments, because you fucking reveal yourself. I have never seen something more embarrassing. I cannot believe you kept going. I'm going to get to that later, but the way that Jane has been stalking me and exposing themselves is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. And it's about to not be funny. It's about to get into legal territory. And that sounds very, like, I don't want to involve authorities in a TikTok situation. That's fucking ridiculous. But when you get to the point that you are actually like psychologically damaging someone, you're hurting their income, you are hurting like years of work, all because you don't want to admit that you're in a cult and you made a fucking video opening this can of worms and then buried yourself. I can't believe how fucking obvious you have been about it. And when I confirm for sure that this is you, because now that you've stepped in and gotten me banned multiple times, now I can actually do something, because that technically messes with my income. I don't make money on TikTok, but promoting my stuff on TikTok, I do. And when I actually got stalked before, like in the creepiest fucking way, they said, if you actually get banned by these people, we can talk. And Cindy Jeffers and all my old fucking stalkers, like there's 4 or 5 people now that have truly, truly hurt me. And I will figure out who each and every one of you are. And I don't care if all I get is your name and confirmation that it was you, and I get to fucking drag your asses on the internet, especially Jane and Ashley Miller and DJ, if it was all of you. Again, I don't know. I'll eat my words. I'm not saying for sure. I was seriously like, there's no way Aquarium Music Witch would do this. There were a couple comments where I was like, God damn, that sounds like them. And then I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that they would do that. Oh, yes, there is. Oh, yes, there is. I'm going to start assuming that you are such a fucking dangerous person. You are a dangerous person, and I have another video to prove how fucking dangerous you really are and how you don't think that you're dangerous. I went back and watched your content. I went back and watched about 2 hours of Jane's content yesterday because they say that I don't understand their content. Oh, I do now. You shouldn't have told me to go watch it. Or you shouldn't have told me that I don't understand your content. I would have gone and watched it either way before I made this so that I can make I wanted to see what you did outside of this situation. And do you know what they do outside of this situation? The same shit. I'm sorry, you got caught in a bunch of starseed controversy.
So one of my mutuals on here recently made a video asking if autistic children are in particular...
Hey, I'd like you to take a moment to look at something with me real quick, okay? What is the mainstay of the autistic experience? Being manipulated. What's the easiest way to manipulate someone? Subversively butter them up and make them think that they have a place that they don't. I am autistic. But I am no longer a damn fool. The very concept of hierarchy is necessary to perpetuate white supremacy. That Indigo Child Starseed stuff is problematic, point blank, period. I completely understand wanting some of it to be true and finding truth in it, but be aware of snakes.
You had autistic people calling you a snake months ago. And how did you respond? Oh, you called out like a 13-year-old and you're like, yeah, I'm sorry to break it to you, honey, but that's the true Scotsman fallacy and you're just brigading me and all the same bullshit. You went after a fucking child. You're like, sorry not to rub it in your fucking face. You've been doing this the entire fucking time. You talk about star seeds. You talk about how you're violent. I didn't want to bring that video into this, but I think it's important. You talk about how you are violent, that somebody in your adult life is actually scared of you because of something violent that you did. And your violence, when you did shadow work, you realize that it was actually supernatural power, which leads you to believe that maybe starseeds are real. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You fucked up, Jane. You fucked up. And I have compassion for you, but there is no goddamn way that I'm not laying this all out. And here, listen here. This is called rock bottom. I've been there. This is rock bottom. You need actual help. I'm talking like you need to talk to somebody who doesn't know you well, and you need to show them this situation and say, what do I not understand here? You act like somebody who truly has a very serious personality disorder. I don't know how to speak about that. I don't know how to say this I'm working on my terminology and language and overhauling of all of this. And I've had my a few good friends and followers talk to me about, okay, we're not using the term narc abuse anymore. You cannot, like the word, people started calling Aquarian music, which I'm just going to say AMW sometimes. If I say AMW, it's about that. Jane, Aquarian music witch, it's all the same. People started calling Jane a sociopath. Right? And that kind of brought up a whole other thing. And the whole thing is, if somebody has, I want to get past all those labels anyways, and just get to a point where you just learn how to spot someone who's abusive, who's emotionally manipulating you. You spot Darvo. I don't care if what else that person has, right? If it's an autistic person who is using Darvo on you, they're using Darvo on you, right? So I don't know, and again, this is for educational purposes only. I am not a professional. This is for social commentary. I have a ton of study. This is my hyper focus. This is my special interest. After growing up in an actual cult and almost marrying someone with narcissistic personality disorder, I became obsessed with the dynamics of what we used to call narcissism. Again, I'm so confused about how to talk about this, but I want to do it in a respectful way. And somebody who treated me like this in the past, I would have said, this is very narcissistic. And I'm just done with those terms. So how do we talk about AMW? There are just certain types of people and personalities and brains that you cannot reason with. And whatever that is, I don't know. I don't need a label. I know what it is. It's Darvo. Whatever the fuck else is happening in your brain. And the only way it can happen is trauma. Oh my God, I need to take this wig off. Hold on. Just want to figure out how to talk about people without giving them a label like that, right? And just talk about them in terms of being emotionally abusive. I still want to separate the person from their brain. I can literally tell this entire story just using the terms emotional abuser, manipulation, and Darvo. Darvo and Jade. So Darvo is the abuser side of this and Jade is the victim side. And that's essentially what this video is going to be, is an expose on how those cycles work. I mean, Jane just gave me the best docu-series on this. Let's talk about Darvo and everything that just happened with Aquarian Music Witch. When somebody is emotionally abusive, when they are hurting you, when they are an abuser, this is what they use. You come to them with rational arguments, or if you're in a toxic relationship, let's say, and you go to your boyfriend and you're like, hey, like when you do this, it actually really hurts my feelings. And instead of acknowledging your presence or that you're a human and you have feelings, they say, I didn't do that. Or they make you feel terrible for just having a different opinion than them. And they claim that you're attacking them, that you're abusing them. It's usually that their ego is so hurt, right? They don't treat you like a human. They deny responsibility, they attack you, and then they reverse the roles, and you, the victim, become the abuser. They gaslight you, and they make you feel insane. That is Darvo. If you would like a whole damn expose docu-series on it, please click the playlist below and go to the bottom. I don't think there's too many videos, maybe like 10 videos or something, but just click on that and you can scroll through and you can see exactly what Darvo is. It is terrifying. It is psychologically damaging. It actually damages your brain. When someone says something to you and you say, why did you say that? Or that hurt me. And they say back, I never said that. Why would you lie? Why would you lie about that? They turn you into the abuser. That is exactly what happened with Aquarian Music Witch. One of my mutuals yesterday, the video before this, said that Aquarian Music Witch is essentially, and a lot of people in New Age spirituality do this, where you're not allowed to have a different opinion than them because they're in a cult, right? And me having a different opinion than AMW is not abuse. Can I say that again? That's not abuse, Aquarian. Seriously. Then one of my other favorite mutuals just messaged me or left a comment and said, there's Darvo and Jade. I've never heard of Jade. The Jade cycle needs to be talked about to PDAers. Our sense of justice and balance makes these techniques easy to use on us. Jade. The abuser gets you to justify, argue, defend yourself, or explain. They use all your energy up. That's exactly what happens. And then reactive abuse happens because you cannot have a rational conversation with these people and they do not treat you like a human. I am working on the YouTube video. It's going to be fascinating. Again, it's going to be super compassionate, but I'm going to educate people on these cycles of abuse and teach people how to protect themselves. So that people can watch it kind of in real time. And that's really why I'm making this, like to stand up for myself and my friends and my followers who just got absolutely abused and you guys are still doing the creepiest shit right now. I have the weirdest feeling this is only going to get worse, but this is whatever you guys do just reveals how much you want to shut me up. It's so creepy, but I am going to defend myself and I am going to put this all in order. And this is how you heal complex PTSD. You learn about it. You learn about your childhood abuse, how it affected your brain. I grew up in a religious cult. This is like the perfect time for me to heal some of my old trauma because I grew up just being gaslit to high heaven. And you learn about how it affected your brain. And then when you're confronted with it in real life again, you see it. And somehow, and you stand up against it and you fight for yourself like you couldn't when you were a kid. And you don't let these people take advantage of you. And somehow I have been given the opportunity of dismantling this shit in real time. I didn't mean to do this. I just fell into this a few months ago, almost a year. Yeah, actually, no, back in September, maybe, is when this all really started to take off. I have not been doing this for a long time. If you're new here, I guess I should introduce myself a little bit. But that is how you heal complex PTSD. You stand up to it in real time. And now I am learning how to actually just dismantle it. And it's one of the most satisfying fucking things I've ever done in my life. And I appreciate everyone who has supported me and guided me in autism. So I cannot thank you enough. And I don't know why I don't know your first name right now, but I will. If you are new here, my name is Allie. Welcome. Thank you for coming to my page. I grew up in a religious cult, and then I got into New Age spirituality for over a decade, and it almost killed me multiple times. I went through multiple psychotic breaks. I was involved in multiple cults. I did a ton of appropriation. I did a ton of fake healing. I almost opened up my own practice. I was deep in the shamanic world in Boulder. I was obsessed with Joe Dispenza and fake quantum physics and Abraham Hicks. And when my life didn't work out after 10 years of manifesting, and then I had an absolute psychotic break and moved home with my parents, I finally realized that maybe some of this stuff wasn't what they were promising. And I'm just trying to help people not go through that. I want to save people time, and I want to save them from this cult, because that's what it is. And the more that this page keeps going, the more that is revealed just constantly. This is going to be a series, but in my next series after this, I'm going to tell my whole spiritual psychosis story, and it's going to be all basically about lucky girl syndrome and how it led me into absolute delusion and psychosis and nearly to death. So if you want to stick around for my next series, I'm going to do this one on what just happened and P and, the girl that passed away, and with Laura Faye. Like, I'm going to kind of do this whole series. And then after that, I'll do my lucky girl syndrome spiritual psychosis story, so you know what actually happened to me. And I'm excited to finally sit down and tell that. That is why I am so passionate about this. And I have found out so much about my brain. I found out at 33 years old that I'm autistic, and my life did not make sense until then. So my passion is helping other people, and I am spiritual. Contrary to popular belief, I am very spiritual. I believe in the afterlife. I have to. I believe that science points to that. But I want to help people have grounded spirituality. I want to help people. I mean, I can't even have any spirituality right now because I've been so harmed by it. But that's what I want to help people with. Okay. So I'm coming from a place of of actually being spiritual. I'm not some big skeptic, but I was really, really, really harmed by these new age spaces. So that's where I'm coming from. I wanted to make a big disclaimer before we get into this video. Please, please, please. This has already gotten so dirty, and they're coming for me really bad right now. And I'm really scared that this is going to be an ongoing problem, and that's exactly why I'm going to get legal help and just cut to the chase, because they've already done enough that I can get somebody to pull their records. And as long as I have people's names, that's all I need, because I'm going to make them very, very, very public. Is that doxing? I don't know. I don't care. If you did this to me, I'm going to expose who you are. I don't have to put your last name, maybe your picture. If it's Aquarian Music Witch, I'm going to fucking talk about it. And I am I've never been more sure. Again, I was like, no, come on, no. And then there was one comment, well, a few, but I remember the first one where I was like, holy shit, this is you, Jane. This is you. You guys are absolutely being so fucking creepy. I'm getting so mass reported, and I'm going to ask my followers, the people watching this, anybody involved, please do not go after them. Please do not go after anybody involved in my videos. I want to ask you guys to please, even though they are absolutely being so creepy and all of this stuff to me, please do not do it back. Please do not do it back. We are better than that. We are the community that is better. We are taking the higher road. And I'm not going to do that. I don't mass report people's accounts. Like, we will always win. The truth always wins. I will always be on all platforms. So much of the damage has already been done. Hundreds of thousands of people have already been saved from ever listening to Aquarian Music Witch and Laura Faye ever again. So that's a win in my book. When these kind of situations go down, they get so messy. And I don't want anybody from my side causing more harm. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's get into the actual story. I started this account as a joke a long time ago as a backup account. Somebody used to call me a cult leader from my first account, and to spite them, I started an account called Alliestartsacult. Okay, it's a funny joke, and now I remove people from cults. So that's called the law of attraction. That's called actual manifestation. That I started that account as a joke with zero intention to doing doing what I'm doing now. I just want to make it very clear, I didn't get on TikTok to go after spiritual creators, and I'm going to tell the entire story of my first account and what happened there and the mistakes I made there and the company I called out. There's like a whole thing that happened with my first account, and I feel like a completely different person than back then. I mean, I've just grown, right? But I want to tell that entire story. And I was in a really traumatized place. I mean, oh my God, it was bad. I started my TikTok in a really traumatizing situation, and I'm glad it all happened because it's led to this. But I need to explain that whole thing, and I will also get to that after my spiritual psychosis story. I think the first video I ever made about New Age spirituality was one of the girls from my shaman group had texted me on accident. And by shaman, I mean this. She had texted me on accident, and they were having some big thing, and like we had a really weird texting interaction, and I got on TikTok and I made a video about it on my backup account, and I don't know, it got like 20,000 views or something, and that was like my first introduction to the fact that maybe people wanted to talk about New Age spirituality. And it was like it was like my white women shaman videos, like those very first videos. And again, I was not a real shaman, obviously. It was total appropriation, and I'm very, very sorry. And if I laugh about any of this stuff, like I use humor to cope a lot, and also this stuff is so outrageous. Like the fact that I thought I was a Lakota person and really was trying to, I mean, it was a bunch of white people who were singing Lakota prayer songs and doing sweat lodges, and that's another story for another day, one of the cults that I had joined. I really got into New Age spirituality through the recovery community after I went to rehab. That's a very big pipeline into this. Getting off track though, I was making some videos about that. And then at one point, I came across quantum shifting.
Line between discovering who you are and understanding the universe. Understanding the universe in the way that Einstein and Nikola Tesla did. Where does that line cross over to psychosis? Or is it psychosis because the majority of the population has not reached that level of awareness in the universe? Thus, you are labeled crazy. Thus, you are treated like you're crazy, when in reality, you're one of the most brilliant people here.
Let me see. Whoa, what the hell? Oh my God, no way. Oh man, brother got the butterscotch.
I stitched quantum shifting. I won't get into that right now.
You have a lack mindset if you keep your gas tank on empty for as long as you...
Do you understand how the brain works or trauma works? Because I didn't when I was telling people stuff like this. I didn't know about complex PTSD and how it affects the brain like an injury, particularly your prefrontal cortex, which would have a lot to do with things like making sure your gas tank is full. I didn't know about neurodivergence. I didn't know about autism. I didn't know about how this stuff can cause your OCD to go into such a horrendous state. And I had a psychotic break at the end of believing all of the quantum spirit science stuff for over 10 years. When you're in this community, you don't even realize like what you are saying to people with mental and physical disabilities. I can't manifest or use the quantum realm or think my way out of autism and a brain injury. I tried for over 10 years, and that's why I had a psychotic break. And a lot of people lose their life to this. So we need to talk about it.
but she was saying some really, really harmful stuff. And I just said, hey, like, do you understand complex PTSD? Do you understand the brain? I did this stuff for over a decade and it really, really hurt me. Like, I just, it's really ableist to tell people the stuff that you're telling them. And she didn't respond well, and it started this like fire, right? And I kind of did start going after some spiritual creators. Like, I started making these series and I really wanted them to care, and it was like all a firestorm. And
Myself and change who I am for your comfort? You got me.
right, like, as a spiritual healer, why would you ever listen to someone who's been hospitalized by something that you might be teaching? I get flooded with messages like this every single day. No, for real, I traumatized myself because of TikTok, and my therapist told me I have traits of PTSD because I was trying to be my highest self, recovering. I got sent to a psych ward after delving into spiritual TikTok too, when I upped my meds. Lost 6 months of my life to that one episode. No, because I literally went crazy when trying to manifest someone back. And like the idea that people aren't people, just your reality. I'm shaking. I'm like so mad. You said earlier that I'm like obsessed with you, and I'm not. I'm autistic and I care about people and I get hyper focused and I have a crazy sense of justice. And I'm not gonna make a ton more videos about you, but I'm gonna warn people about this stuff forever. Have a good. People were sending me videos and it just kind of all happened, but I mainly just went after a few creators, right?
We knew what it was. And I say that COVID signs are signs of the ascension. And then after that, it was event.
We need to talk about this creator because it's getting out of control. And she got COVID, then started getting messages from other healers on the internet. She says this in her other videos. She started getting messages like, you're a healer, you have this. And so then she had her awakening. But COVID was her ascension, by the way. Let's keep watching.
I was going through my dark night of the soul while also figuring shit out, right? I lost my passion for the acting, and then I got really into work.
So she's an actress. She's an actress. I think that says a lot. Anybody else? She got famous on this app from talking about Chili's, about workers' rights. And now her vibration is causing the queen to pass away because she's so powerful. Hello?
4 million views. I had an Akashic record reading done literally a couple days later. I had submitted my questions before I went viral. And my spirit guides said that I need to dream bigger. That what I did was very brave of me, but that I am here for a bigger mission and a bigger purpose. And that is why I went through everything that I went through, because I was healing for the collective. You guys can call me crazy all you want, but I have been through some shit, and I really do take on the energy of the collective. And that is why now I have a platform so that I can tell you guys who are going through this awakening right now, because the collective is waking up, I can help guide you guys through it. Now, I don't have all of.
She says next, I don't have all the answers. I mirror the collective. What kind of word? Salad soup. And guess what? I've been through a lot too. And I'm here for a different collective. For the collective of people who've already been through this stuff and lost their damn minds. It's just... Also, I cannot stand when people equate spirituality to the algorithm and like their spiritual mission to the algorithm. Like, people get 34 million views every day for taking a shit on this app. Like, it does not mean that you are chosen, baby.
Like, I am mirroring your journey just on a few steps ahead of you. So I am also going through the awakening journey when it comes to the internal stuff. I know about the outside stuff. I'm great with that. Now you guys are really watching me going through my internal journey of the awakening. And through this journey of the awakening, I am realizing that shattering your dreams and deprogramming you and breaking you out of the matrix is killing your dreams.
What?
And I realized I didn't want to do that. Yes, I have my Crumble Capitalism, merch, and I fought really hard.
What? Lit. And it started this this chain reaction. So quantum shifting and I were going back and forth.
There's a lot of new people here, and damn, you guys are mean. But I still love you guys. So what's the truth? What's the truth that EA is exposing, and why can't you tell us, and why can't you show us? I told you you were just literally incapable of comprehending it because you haven't gone deep enough in your study of self. Truth hurts, and that's the truth. The only way to find truth is to go within. I can't put on the glasses for you. I can't present a red or blue pill for you. You have to do the work. How could anybody support Yay? I see the vision. And one day you're going to be like, damn, I was disrespectful. You got to go within and you got to dig deep. If you don't know how to do that, if you don't have any structure of like meditation, observations, studying yourself, studying the algorithm of your consciousness and the algorithm of what you feed your reality. I created an ebook. It's called Project Alignment. It's a guidebook to the awakening of multidimensional consciousness. You are source consciousness having a human experience. You just don't know yet. But yeah, if you're interested, you can find that ebook in the link of my bio. You gotta be thinking big, bitch.
Spiritual narcissism is one of the most confusing, insidious, and dangerous types of narcissistic abuse, and I need you guys to learn to spot the signs. Notice a couple things. Oh, I have so much I want to say. Oh. So, when a spiritual narcissist is getting asked hard questions, like, what did you mean by what you said about Kanye? And like, do you understand that it's anti-Semitic and you're hurting a lot of people and all this stuff? They won't answer the question. There's never an answer. It's always this nebulous, put it back on you. Oh, well, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you haven't done enough work. It puts this is narcissistic abuse. It's so confusing for the brain to be told, you know the answer, but why don't you know the answer? Because you're not spiritual enough, and I'm enlightened enough that I found it. In fact, if you don't understand, you could pay me to help you understand, but I have paid those people. Do you see that? She's telling people in this video that they don't understand what she's saying, but because they're not spiritual enough, because they haven't done the work, which is also totally nebulous. Like, I did this for so long. You can spin in this world for a decade like me, and I want to help other people not go through this. I need people to see stuff like this and be able to protect themselves because it makes people feel insane. This is not true spirituality. And they use this to shield themselves from criticism and then act like they are the most loving beings on this planet. But they don't have to be loving because they're speaking the radical truth. This is the main juice of the story and how we get to Aquarian Music Witch. I mean, AMW came in just like very soon after I started talking about all this stuff. This is not like I've just been on TikTok for years talking about this. This just all had very recently just happened, right? I hadn't had, I'm just now really taking the time to figure out how I want to present my content and really slowing down. And I didn't think that this was turning into a thing. And now it absolutely has. This is my life's work. This is my passion. And I want to help people with this forever, along with a lot of other stuff. But this is part of my life's work, is getting people out of the cult of New Age spirituality and just teaching about these kind of things in general. Or I don't know if teaching is even the right word, but, just making content about it and helping people.
So if you attract what happens to you, a 4-year-old can...
I was looking through old videos because I'm making a YouTube video right now, and I found the Abraham Hicks video. This is Abraham Hicks confirming that a child, a 4-year-old, attracts their own essay. Go back and listen to that. That's from the horse's mouth. This is why I do this stuff, okay? I don't want to argue with people on this app. I only defend myself if people make videos now. I really try to not go after people. I'm going to do my best too. But this stuff is so serious, you guys. We cannot say that a 4-year-old has a vibration that causes them to be abused. Follow that thought. Could that 4-year-old change their vibration, stop the abuse, and go take care of themselves if they just thought positively? That's what I'm saying.
So if you attract what happens to you, a 4-year-old can vibrate at a way to attract a situation like that?
Yes, because feelings of vulnerability are taught by those who are around them feel vulnerable.
Think about how much emphasis that you as a civilization put upon unwanted things. Okay, and start with the premise that law of attraction never makes a mistake, and then follow up with the premise that things are always working out. Don't get yourself in a situation where you're taking a microcosm of something and you're deciding that it's so bad that it defies everything that you're learning about law of attraction. In other words, look for ways to believe this. Don't look for ways to deny it.
Quantum Shifting and I went back and forth in a pretty epic manner for weeks on end. And I also had a thing with Alex Serves Tea, who is one of the most dangerous creators on the internet. And she is stuck in such a deep fucking spiritual psychosis that there's just no way to actually help some of these people, and it's really, really, really scary to see. I will never say somebody can't be helped, but I'm deeply scared for Alex. I realize now that I don't want to do that, right? Like making a 9-part series about someone and going back and forth for weeks on end doesn't do anything, right? And a lot of people get hurt and it's stressful for everyone. So I don't want to do that anymore. And I stopped kind of going after people and trying to change them. I am just going to make videos, and then if people come to me, I will respond, which is exactly what happened here. But me going after these creators and begging them to care about the brain did not work. And I don't want to just hurt people, right? I don't. Somewhere along the line, during these beginning videos, I made a video about manifestation, the law of attraction. And it was a very black and white video. When I look back on it now, I'm like, that wasn't a great video. I can see why it pissed some people off. But I basically just gave really basic examples. If the law of attraction works, I would be dead, because I've been thinking about dying every single day. When you really get into certain teachings in the law of attraction and where I was, especially having OCD, I thought that I controlled every single thing, and that every single thought pinged out to the universe and created a situation and then came back to me. And I got so anxious and it was awful. Okay. This kind of stuff can ruin people's minds. So that's how I understand the law of attraction, is the Joe Dispenza type of law of attraction and Abraham Hicks, and where everything that you think goes out into the universe, and every word you say is a spell, which is so dangerous. And I said that the law of attraction walked me right into a very dangerous relationship. I'll show you the video. If manifesting was real, I would be dead. If manifesting was real, we probably, I just think everybody wants the pandemic to be over. I think everybody really, really wants the pandemic to be over and to not get new viruses and all the things that are happening right now. I don't, if manifestation, if our thoughts create our reality. I spent 2 years manifesting a man that I actually ended up getting. I mean, nothing happened until I physically called him, which is also a thing. But I thought about him for 2 years, and I used to go and sit in a parking lot where I knew the town he lived in. And we had dated previously before this, so I didn't just manifest him out of thin air, which is another problem we need to talk about. If you're talking about manifestation in the sense that you want to manifest a partner, you want to do this, do we understand how delusional it is to tell someone that if you think about this person enough, you affect another human's reality enough that they all of a sudden appear in your life? It's a nice concept until you get into the dark sides of that, and people with OCD and anxiety and But for 2 years, instead of just calling this man and talking to him about what happened and whatever, I sat in a parking lot at a grocery store in the town that he lived in, I thought, and stalked him on the internet and did things like that, and just was trying to manifest him. back into my life. Is that delusional? Absolutely. Then, after 2 years of thinking him, I used to walk around the grocery store expecting him to come around the corner. It's like this, like, you don't get to separate that kind of behavior and expecting that you're gonna get a parking spot. Like, people are like, manifestation is just for fun. Like, it's either, we either create all reality or we don't do it at all. Like, you don't get to separate, like, what you think is good and bad. But after 2 years, I called him, finally, physically called him. We get back together, and because I had spent 2 years manifesting him and changing my vibration and blah, 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 I completely ignored the fact that he was a hardcore, true narcissist. I don't throw that word around lightly, okay? I got into such an abusive relationship, and I stayed in an abusive relationship, listening to things like Abraham Hicks, just working on my own vibration, because that affects everything, right? No, I had to physically leave that abusive relationship, and manifestation is, like, do you see where I'm going here? I have a million stories like that. That is the tip of the iceberg. We need to talk about how this stuff is so dangerous. Okay, so this is when American Music Witch I love calling them that. This is when Aquarian Music Witch decided to insert themselves in the conversation. Okay, so I made that video. I understand why people don't like me. I really do. If I had found me 10 years ago, I would have been like, this lady is rude and cruel and she just thinks everyone is stupid. And that's why I understand why when people find me, they think I'm very critical and they think that I'm very black and white. And in some ways I am. Like, I'm sorry, a kid does not attract their own sexual abuse. Like, are you fucking out of your mind? Yeah, I'm black and white about that. There's no nuance to saying that a kid could vibrate their way out of sexual abuse. Like, seriously, let's be dead fucking serious. And humans do not vibrate like that. You're not living in a vibration of fear or positivity or something like that. They aren't. We do know that. And that's my biggest issue. If people want to believe in faith healing, I think that spirituality is great. I believe in ancient wisdom. Like, I am not here to shit on things like Buddhism and Vedic practices and indigenous practices. I'm here to shit all over people like Joe Dispenza and Abraham Hicks. The new age spirituality that gets people killed. And as you saw months ago, I was saying, and those are just little clips, there's so much other stuff where I'm just begging these people to just do it differently. And I realize they're in a cult, they're not going to come out. So I have to make my content in a different way to try to educate people so that they can come out themselves. So I'm trying to do the best that I can, but that's like the basic backstory to this. And then another creator got involved, Stalja, who is friends with Aquarian Music Witch, and then Aquarian Music Witch decided to chime in. That's where this all begins. Okay? And then we had 2 or 3 interactions after that led up to what happened now. And now we're about to get into the juice, the real story, what went down with me and Aquarian Music Witch. If you're on their side, please give me a chance. Please give me a chance. So this next part 2, it's all about that. It's all about that. But yeah, I'm a spiritual person, but I am very fucking, especially after I found out about basic physics, that we don't have a frequency. You can't control your frequency. Frequency applies to like music. I'm going to get much more educated on this topic so I can speak about it very, very eloquently and really explain it. But I have a book, Bright-Sided, right there, that goes into the science in 3 pages about like why we cannot control the quantum realm. There is a physicist on TikTok, Alex James Says. I have videos. I have a whole playlist on Alliestartsacult called Real Science. And it's all about how, like, yes, there's like a spiritual element to things. There's all this stuff, but we can't control it. Why, if 2 families have a child dying of cancer and they both do the same exact shit, Like they both pray or they both do the law of attraction or whatever. And one kid gets better and one kid dies. We can never say that it was because of prayer or faith or anything like that. Disease is not a frequency. We don't know why some people get better. We don't know why for sure. We just don't. You cannot tell people that they can control the cells of their body and then when they get sick, it's their fault. Nobody would fucking die if you could control the cells of your body. Dolores Cannon used to say all the time, if you're doing exactly what if you're living in your fullest vibration and all the stuff, you won't get sick. Guess who died from being just getting the fucking flu? Dolores Cannon got just a basic sickness after a surgery and fucking died because we cannot control it. Literally what happened is in the early 1900s, there was a reaction to Calvinism. There's a ton of history to this. There was a reaction to Calvinism, which is hardcore, one of the most hardcore white supremacy, awful forms of cultural or of Christianity. Okay, and this guy wanted to help people and he came up with one of the first theories of the universe type thing, okay? Which is just repackaged religion. They were just trying to get people to not be so upset about God. And then Christian Science and William Parker Quimby and all these people, it's just been this slow progression. And these white people realized they could make a ton of money. They took Vedic practices, Buddhism, a bunch of other actual indigenous practices, ancient wisdom, Eastern philosophies. They stole it. A bunch of white people fucking stole it in the early 1900s. They took early quantum physics science and then they've just run with it and they've never updated it. We know that you are not the observer of your own reality. We fucking know that. When they always are oh, the double slit experiment. No, they have twisted that completely. And now you have people like Joe and so it's basically just cultural appropriation, fake science. Check out an article called The Rise of Fake Scientists by Ness Labs. A bunch of twisted science, cultural appropriation, and now it's just a fucking MLM. And people like Quantum Shifting and Alex Serves Tea are on the internet acting like they're old ancient healers. And I said months ago, you guys are going to kill somebody. Please be careful. They're you're so fucking stupid. You're so fucking stupid. You're so fucking stupid. And now what? Yeah. People are actually dying. I didn't want to be fucking right about it. I have watched a girl with my own fucking 2 eyes spewing that exact bullshit. She sounded more grounded than them. She fucking died. I don't want to hear that what I do, I'm going to try my best to do this in a way that doesn't hurt others. And I apologize for the hurt that I have caused. An intention does not equal impact, right? I have to understand the impact that I make. And I do take responsibility for that shit. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. And at that time, during this whole thing that I just showed you, yes, I was going after spiritual creators. They are telling people things like Alex verbatim. The first time I went after Alex, it's because she told someone who was sexually assaulted their entire childhood to just look into generational karma. They asked her why they would attract that kind of stuff into their life. Why would I create that? These people are causing so much fucking harm. I went to Alex when she had a follower go to a psych ward. She told all these people they were ascending somewhere else. She makes all these big claims. She never has to back them up. People actually get hurt. I come to them with documented proof that people go to psych wards and they're not our fault. Nobody listens to us. Why the fuck are you influencers? If you don't want people to do shit with that information, why don't you care if people go into psychosis? You saw at the beginning of the video, Quantum Shifting. I'm so fucking mad at you. You are such a fucking cruel fucking person. Fuck you. She came into my comments yesterday gloating that I'm getting hurt right now. Oh, you're gloating that someone died? She goes, the magic is really magicking. Oh, so yeah, this is the law of attraction. You wanted people to die. You wanted people to die at some point. The magic is magicking. How dare you? The response to someone dying has been the most disgusting thing in the world. How fucking dare you? The magic is magicking. I'm just so glad to see Allie hurting. You guys are fucking sick. You guys are fucking sick. I was never trying to hurt you. All you're doing is revealing that New Age spirituality is a cult of MLM mean girls that are criminals. And it's my life's work to stop you fuckers. Yeah. And to save people from you. And I'm not going to go after your accounts. I'm not going to attack you on the internet. But you better know that I will secretly be working on laws, that I will be exposing you people for fucking ever. I'm just not going to go after you on TikTok. I'll go after you anywhere else because that's the only place you have power over me. You people need to be fucking stopped. Do we let people drive drunk? There need to be laws around this shit. You guys make fucking promises you can't fucking keep, and that the fucking universe can't keep. You get exposed. You fucking do all this shit, and you don't care. I have never. Spiritual narcissism is the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. You people are fucking sick, and it's gonna be crazy when you have to come out of it. And guess who's still gonna be here? Me. Fuck you, Madison. Fuck you, Alex. Fuck you, Laura Faye. Fuck you, Jane. I was right. And all of you have fucking blood on your hands. How about that? Mic drop. You guys don't care. And I'm going to expose the absolute shit out of all of you. And I don't care if you don't get deplatformed and shit. That's not what I'm here for. That's not my goal. Everybody can exist on the internet. You guys are the ones who are scared of me. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be doing the right fucking thing. I'm going to be helping people. I have a full folder full of messages. I get at least 3 messages a day that I save someone's life. That's fucking worth it. That's everything. Fuck you all. People actually died. I watched her talk exactly like you, Madison. If you don't want people doing stuff with your information, then maybe, like, how do you not get to take responsibility? Well, guess what? I'm going to make sure you all do. Anyways, y'all, just a couple feels. I cannot believe that quantum shifting came into my comments. The response has been the most disgusting part. Why can't we all work together? Why can't we all work together? Like, what the fuck? All I wanted was for you to learn about the brain. And I didn't do it in like the nicest way. But now people are dead and I don't need to be nice. And you guys aren't nice just because you don't raise your voices and you don't act like intensely and you talk in circles and you have some, like, Madison, you are the most performative fucking person I've ever seen. It makes me nauseous. I can't stand your voice. I can't fucking stand how you speak to people. Like, stop performing and start living. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. You guys are all just performing. You want to be actresses. You came from Herbalife, Madison. You know how to do MLMs. You want to be an actress. Your boyfriend is some wannabe musician. Please. Yeah, you guys are all little SoCal, California assholes. Seriously, Laura Faye has an IMDb. Alex wanted to be an actress. I found her old monologues. They're really fucking bad. I'm sure you guys aren't good actors. Can I finally say what I need to fucking say? God damn. And I don't care if I sound mean. These people want to be actors. My friend Marcel, one of my favorite mutuals on this app, has a whole thing. She lives in California. It's like, this is so common. These washed up performers find this shit and think that they are God's gift to the world. You're performing, Madison. You are literally performing, and your performance is getting people killed, and you don't look well. You don't look okay, babe. All that high vibrational food, you look like you're about to vibrate right off the fucking planet. I'm also worried for your lives. And then if, like, seriously, I'm going to end this video with so I made that law of attraction video, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Aquarian Music Witch decides to pop in the game and insert themselves, which is how they entered every time. Remember at the beginning of this video when you saw Aquarian Music Witch make a claim that I really harmed them and that they were bullied by me and they needed to come forward with this like expose about me? These are the videos that started it. So you tell me if I harmed and bullied and harassed Aquarian Music Witch. And they are going to really fucking regret the words that came out of their mouth. It's a good day, boys. It's a good fucking day. I'll see y'all in part 2. Thank you for everyone who supported me. I love you guys.
Funny because I've never seen their content before today, but apparently TikTok can tell I'm a little triggered by it. So now I've seen like several of the videos pop up on my For You page. And again, like I don't really have any hate toward anybody that doesn't feel like what I'm talking about works for them or is for them, or they feel like they've been burned by trusting in it, because I know that's out there. But I understand in a systematized way and believe that manifestation works. So that's something that I think is like a clear truth to me, and that can be in conflict with what other people understand about the world, and that's fine. And there are scams out there. There's always going to be scams because we live under capitalism. There's going to be scams in both directions, right? There's going to be people trying to convince you that you don't have the power that you have. And there's going to be people trying to sell you the idea of an easy way into power, right? And the trick, again, is to just listen inside of yourself. Not just, like, there's a lot of external things that you can learn about that influence all of what happens, that we, like, have frameworks for. But you can, like, I think the voice of discernment should really be your own. And you do have to guide yourself through an ocean of misinformation in our modern world, whether we're in the spiritual community or not, you know? Listen for red flags. Do your best to learn from the experiences you have and from the people you trust in your communities. And, you know, try to self-correct when you realize you're going down the wrong path. But you do your best to listen inside, listen to yourself, and listen to your intuition.